Hi everybody, this is Danny Class. The diatonic harmony concept, where we assign chords to individual notes of a scale, is such a powerful tool, and so many of you might already know it as a way to expand your major scale chords. But we can use the idea and attach it to other scales, and so that's what we're going to be doing today by looking at the melodic minor scale in C and giving chords that are appropriate to each scale note. The scale itself I did a lesson on, so if you want to review that, you can look in the video's description and I'll put a link to it. Okay, so let's take a look at first the kind of minimal bare bones triads that go with the C melodic minor scale. And then after that we'll do the bar chord versions. Okay, so the first chord is a C minor chord. The second chord, is a D minor chord. And by the way, you can play that top D if you want to add that in. Same with the C minor, by the way. Kind of expands the chord sound, even off a kind of small triad like that. Okay, the next one is an E flat augmented chord. Next up we have a F major chord, which I'll play down here in the first position. But remember, anything you play on the guitar, you can always add 12 and it repeats. So for this particular chord, you could also play it way up here. Same chord, just an octave up. Okay, so that is an F major chord. The next chord we have is a G major chord, the fifth chord, or the 5 chord. The next chord we have is a diminished chord. The next chord we have is a B diminished chord. It's a nice chord because it's really, hinting at wanting to resolve, and so we will resolve it back to the C minor chord. Okay, I actually prefer these little triads more than the bar chords because it frees up the pinky to do some interesting things in a kind of easier way. But if you'd like them, here come the bar chord versions. Here is the C minor. Here is the D minor. Here is the E flat augmented. Here is the F major. Here is the G major. Next up is the A diminished. This one, I'll tell you why I was hesitating. Here's the chord, but I always want to put my pinky in on this D, D sharp. It goes with the chord, but it kind of takes it out a bit. But it might be something to think about. But here is the chord for A diminished. Here is the chord for B diminished. And lastly, back to the C minor. Okay, so the usage of these chords in a progression are, at least in theory, just as obvious, and the pattern is just as regular as you might use on a major scale chord progression. So you can think of the one as the C minor as a kind of root tonic chord, root chord, and certain things go with it very well, like that E flat augmented goes very well because it has the characteristic minor in the roots, the E flat. There's really countless ways to kind of play with this, including the bar chord version. Like I gave some hints with that A diminished chord, you can put the pinky in. So it's really kind of up to you how you want to use it, and a good way to practice also is to include the scale, the C minor melodic scale. and to maybe play a chord. So I'll put this also in the learning plan, but as an example. Start there with just the root chord and then maybe play the scale again. How about backwards? Back to the C minor. As you're playing around with these chord progressions and you feel lost or like the music's not going to the place you want, you can always go back to the root chord, the C minor, or other kind of strong chords that kind of go with it, that adhere close to a kind of resolution, and so that augmented chord is also going to be very useful. Okay, so hopefully you found this useful as a way to expand your playing, and you can always, of course, use a backing track too and play the chords as arpeggios. And always remember, when you learn something, think to yourself, can I change it? Can I mess with it? Can I add some things? Can I take some things off? Taking some things off was going to be a little tricky on this one. But try it and see what happens. But you can certainly add a lot with your pinky on those first triads and see if it works. And that can really expand and grow the scale and provide you with some ideas for music. So thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Stay well. Bye-bye.